Alright, so let's create the second Laravel project in this course. This time we'll be making a book review application. So we will be using Composer again. So type Composer, create project. You can add this preferred dist flag, which will just prioritize downloading the smaller version of the package without the development related files like tests. So potentially it could be faster. The package is Laravel/Laravel and the project name, let it be book review. So let's wait for everything to install, and once this is pretty quick, it's hard to even say one sentence before it's done. Anyway, we've got the key generated, the .env file is there. Why don't we open this to configure the database connection, as we will be going straight to the point in this, in this project. So why won't we open the project inside a code editor? I use this code shortcut to just open the current folder in Visual Studio Code, though you can use any editor as usual and open it any way you prefer. One more thing, first we need to go into the newly created project first. So let's see what do we have inside. We need to go into book review and then run code dot. Alright, so the project is open. We've got the typical Laravel application structure. I am not gonna go through that again. We've already seen that in the previous project. What we need to do right now is configure the database connection inside the .env file. So let's come up with the database name. This can be Laravel 10 book review. The username and password. This will be both root for me. Database connection is MySQL, and the host, when using Docker, it would be the local host, and the port is the default MySQL port. Make sure you just provide the valid values for whatever database you use. Also remember about the credentials. So we are not gonna run the migrations yet, as so far we've just got the default ones for users, passwords, personal tokens, this stuff. So I would like us to create some models at this point. So go back to the terminal and run PHP artisan make model book with the env flag to add a migration, and then run this command again. This time the model is review, also with the migration. Okay, so now we can switch to the code editor. Now the big benefit of the previous project is that with this one and next ones we can move a lot faster, as we have already covered the basics. So I would like you to open those two migration files. You can find them inside database migrations folder, so books and reviews. As a quick reminder, migration is a PHP class which contains methods up and down. Up method lets you make some forward changes to the schema, like create tables, add columns, and the down method should do the opposite of what up does. So if you are adding a table in up method, you should drop this table in down method. This lets you roll back the changes if, for example, you need to back off any change that you've made. So having those two migration files, let's implement them with the data that we will need. So in case of the books, we will need the title and the author. So let me add those two fields. All right, let's switch to the reviews table. So the first thing we need here is the text field for the actual review. This would be the text that someone would say something what they think about the book. The next column that we need would be a number we would use an unsigned tiny integer, as this needs to hold a number rating that would range from 1, which would be the lowest possible rating, up to 5, which would be the highest possible rating. Well, if in your country this is opposite, so 1 is the best, you can go with whatever you prefer. Anyway, we will be needing a number for that. We also need timestamps in both of those tables, which, as a reminder, are those two created at and updated at fields which are automatically updated by Laravel when changes happen with models. Now, there will be something new with those two tables, as they will be related. So the reviews will be associated with books, but we're gonna learn about that in the next video. And to create a relationship between the two tables, you actually have to add a field in one of those, but let's leave that for the next one. In the meantime, let's save the changes and run PHP Artisan migrate for two reasons. We want to create the database table and create those tables. Let's run it. It asks us if we want to create the database. Let's say yes. So the database was created together with the tables. Now let's log in to our database. You can use any tool. I'm using Adminer. As a reminder, Adminer runs within the Docker container. So for me, the server name is MySQL. The username and password is root. Now, as usual, I can't find the database. Let me log out and log in again. There it is. All right. So we've got the books table with the title, author, timestamps, and reviews. The review, the rating, and the timestamps, and some tables that are always generated together with every new Laravel project. So more or less we are set up. We've got the project created, database connection, and two models created. In the next one, you'll see how you can create a relationship between two database tables.